I move like oceans, violent waves of my emotion, powerful. I pull, I swallow ships beneath my deepest blues.
So stripes is not considered a pattern?
This?
No.
Somewhat of a pattern. I guess it is a pattern, right? But see, like, okay, I'm a pattern phobe, but I'm not a fabrics phobe. And I feel that the stripes are a part of the fabric, but that's not true, is it? This is a ribbed fabric with a striped pattern. You're right. It's the one pattern that I've delved into.
Hello and welcome
Great.
to Jimmich Fam. This is James speaking. Just been listening to my latest guest, Grace. She's a patternophobe.
I'm a pattern phobe. A confessed pattern phobe.
She walked in and saw me in my Hawaiian shirt and started freaking out. It was a great meeting. Great introduction. I'm just recovering from a cold, so I'm...
Oh,
have
nice
that
and
nasally-
husky. Yeah, I don't mind that, actually. It makes me sound more mature when I sing. Dig it.
Has anyone ever done that? Have they simulated a cold to try and get that voice? Like, what do you have to do? Do you think you can just stuff stuff up your nose to try and get a different...
What would you stuff in your nose?
I don't know.
Like pepper? Probably pepper, right? Like that would make you
So you
sneeze a
keep
lot.
sneeze, yeah.
Well, all I know is that Phoebe on Friends was definitely into it.
Oh, that's right. There was an episode. She
Yeah.
was way better when she was sick.
Yeah. And everyone was surprised by it, et cetera, et cetera. I was sick recently, actually, and I still had to go to the studio and I couldn't talk, but I could sing still. And man, the recordings are hell husky. I sound really vulnerable. It's great. It's
That's
great.
good.
It's not a bad thing.
But if you have to go live, people are like, that
Hell no.
doesn't
Hell
sound
no.
like it.
Yeah, because like it gets very, like when I get sick, it's very like,
I bet if you Google it, someone's tried to work out how to simulate.
oh yeah, absolutely. A lot of soul singers and stuff for sure.
Well, there's no particular theme for this episode except to get to know Grace. Grace is someone, I've been trying to get the people I work with to come on the podcast more often, and I'm going to try and put more of these sort of things up. Grace I've never met before until just now, but I'm
We're
trying to
pretty much
convince her to
best friends,
work
though.
on a project with me, and I thought to get to know each other we'd do a podcast. So Grace, who are you?
I am Grace Sanders. I'm
Yep.
a 20-year-old singer-songwriter from Melbourne originally, but WA.
All right.
Yeah.
And so where you were born, you said you were born...
I was born in Greensboro in Melbourne, but I don't like. I
that
definitely
suburb?
claim it. I think so. Like I was honestly born there and then I left, and I don't think there's a
Alright.
hospital there or anything anymore. But I claim it. Like, oh yeah, I'm from Melbourne, but I came here when I was like 2. So
You don't
get
have any
over
roots
it.
there, like family?
Oh, all my family are over
Draw
there,
you
like,
back?
but my immediate family are all here, and there's quite a few of us. So
Yeah.
it ends up being, it's a Perth thing. It's a Perth
Mm-hmm.
thing. But I don't want to admit that I'm from Perth. But yeah, I'm from Perth.
Okay.
It's fine.
Where'd you move to in Perth? Like, where'd you grow up?
Just really in a city, hey, within a 3-kilometre radius. My dad's always lived in like the North Perth, Mount Lawley side of life, and my mum's always lived in Mount Hawthorn, Leaderville. So a nice, very privileged little place.
So where is your mum from?
My mum's from Melbourne and my dad is from South Africa. She lived in Melbourne. They met in Melbourne.
They
My
came
older
here.
siblings were born in Melbourne and grew up there.
So
and
both
stuff,
of them
and
have
then we
always
moved here.
grown... They've
Yeah.
always lived together in North Perth region.
Yes. Yeah, they split up, but they've always like
Okay.
remained within that inner city suburb.
Oh, this is an interesting fact. Don't you have like a ton of siblings?
Oh, how do you know that?
This is my research into you. I just remembered.
Yeah.
But I've also met someone else the other day who had tons of siblings, so I wasn't worried I was going to be confusing you with someone else.
No, yeah, I do. I have 10 siblings, but it's 3 fully biological, then 2 halves, and then the rest are steps. But my parents got divorced so young that I kind of grew up with that many people that I just say I have 10 siblings to make it less complicated. But yeah, lots of people.
So you have more than 10 siblings?
No, there is 10. There's 14 in my immediate family,
Okay.
including like my parents' new partners and
Yeah.
stuff,
Oh,
but
wow.
10 actual kids. Yeah.
So what do you do on Christmas Day? Like, do you have a lot of places to do?
No, we're like, you go between the 2 houses, but
Yeah,
like,
okay.
we don't get presents, that's for sure.
All right.
No, but Christmas, it's just an expensive occasion, hey, until we all turned old enough to be like, why are we getting each other presents at all? Let's just do one Secret Santa and that's it,
Yeah, that's true.
Keep it cheap.
Yeah.
That's the idea. Save it for birthdays, which are also a hassle.
My
straight away.
new secret
Yeah.
is you go to these like
It's not going to be a secret in a second, so.
no, as a secret source of gifts.
Oh, yeah?
It's not. It doesn't have to be a secret, but it's awesome to go to like these kitchen stores or hospitality stores, and they have
Oh, yeah.
all the weirdest kind of like here's a garlic grinder for doing 3 pieces of garlic at the same time, and you can just find
cool.
the weirdest.
Yeah. That's a good idea. That's a really good idea.
It's always something weird, and it's not too expensive.
Yeah, kind of obscure.
And it's kind of a novelty, but novelty that someone might actually use more than just the day you get it.
Have you seen the garlic clove
just made that
grinder
up.
with 3? Oh, okay. I've
Do you
never
think people
been
would
to
ever do that?
make that. Probably wouldn't it just be a garlic, because you squish them, don't you? Like put the garlic inside of a little chamber and then you kind of just
Yeah.
force it out, right? So you just get a big chamber and a big squisher, and that would just be, you know, like you wouldn't have 3 different heads for your 3 cloves of garlic.
Some people are picky. They might.
They want it spread or whatever.
Yeah, maybe you get an Argentinian garlic and an Australian garlic and a South African garlic, and you want to sort of.
Is there a genuine difference?
I don't know.
Maybe
I
there
did
is.
go to the shop once to get garlic, and they had Argentinian garlic, and it was rubbish. Like I put a whole
What did it taste like?
thing in,
Yeah. You put a whole clove in.
and it didn't even taste as strong as like 1 clove of.
Really?
What do they call it? What's the whole bundle? A whole bulb.
a
whole
bulb of garlic?
Yeah, and it wasn't even as
cluster?
strong as like 1 of just the regular stuff you get.
Well, what's the regular? You know, that's really
The white one.
The white one.
This was
So
the
the
purple
Australian one, or like,
I don't know.
do we grow our own garlic here?
It's probably
I
all
hope
imported.
So it's
probably
probably
from
all
China.
imported. Do you think China?
Yeah.
Well, the Chinese do enjoy
All I'm
their
saying
garlic.
is this purple orange Argentinian rubbish was rubbish.
It was rubbish.
Yeah.
I got some garlic from Lady IGA actually the other
Yeah.
day because I was sick because of this cold thing,
Yeah.
this husky business. So I was like, oh, I need to get better. I hear chewing on garlic cloves makes it better.
Oh my god.
It burnt, hey, like it was probably one of the worst
I
things
think
I've ever put in
I'm
my
allergic
mouth.
to onion. I think I'm also a little bit
You're allergic to onion.
onion to garlic. So
How do you live being allergic to onion? I feel like it's just in everything. That'd be really annoying.
it's a great displeasure because I used to love it when I was a kid, but I just suddenly started getting sore throats after eating it.
When?
When I was about 20.
Oh,
This is like
shame.
10
So
years
you'd
ago.
known the joy of onion then.
Yeah,
It's not that good
it was
actually. I've
great.
always thought
My
onion
favorite thing
smells
was
better than
bruschetta
actually
with
tastes.
onion and
Like
tomato
the
and
red
basil.
onion.
Yeah,
Yeah, that stuff's nice. A bit of red onion. I definitely have a friend, and every time I go to his house, like he well overdoes the red onion to the point that it's like, dude,
Yeah.
come on, really.
and I used to get I just sort of used to get sore throats all the time. It took me a while to work out that I stopped eating garlic. I mean, onion.
Yeah.
Raw, especially raw onion. Cooked onion doesn't seem to be as bad. So obviously whatever does the damage is cooked out of it. Although I can still feel a tingly bit.
Yeah.
But I just stopped getting sore throats after I stopped eating. I was like, oh wow, I guess I have to just
Resign.
no longer have onion now.
That's a shame. I mainly see it in the Italian cooking, you know, like you want onion in your pasta
Yeah.
sauce. But I mean, I guess you'll probably survive.
So how was eating garlic then?
You know what? I actually think that it did make me feel better, but it's so strong that like I could feel it in my belly. You know, like it was
Oh, yeah.
it was that powerful that I was
Oh.
like, oh, I got a bit dizzy, and I was actually at work at the time,
Yeah.
and I was serving customers, and like really, it was gross. They could smell it. Everyone could smell it. Like I didn't want to say like.
A couple,
right, guys,
I
we
think
need
not so
garlic.
long ago, maybe last week and the week before, I had a family dinner
Yeah.
because my sister came back from overseas and my dad cooked a roast and he'd stuffed some garlic in there and I just ate it thinking it was actually a bit of roast potato.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that shocked me and I didn't feel that good after that.
It shocked you.
And that had been roasted.
Did you sit down after and have a think?
Yeah.
Did you reassess some
Yeah,
stuff?
reassess life.
Why would your own father do that to you?
Well, it adds flavour to the meal. It's
It
just,
does, like stuffing it in the side.
but when you eat something, expect it to be a potato and it turns out to be garlic. It's a shock.
Why would he have
It's
stuffed
kind of
a
like going on the
potato in
escalator.
side
Have you ever
of a
been on an
roast?
escalator that's not
I've
working?
never been on an escalator. On one that's not working. No, because they're usually blocked off. It feels naughty. I'm scared. I just take the
You've
stairs.
never been on an escalator?
Oh, I've been on an escalator. I was being sarcastic.
Oh, okay. That was funny then. So,
What about it? What's so great about escalators that
well,
aren't
because
working?
psychologically, you expect it to still be working. So you get on, you sort of... Because
Right.
it's...
Can't
an
you
escalator...
see that it's not?
Yeah, you can see it and you can expect it. It still happens. Maybe it doesn't happen to you, but you've never experienced it.
But
have you?
that's
Never-
actually true. I've never dared because I knew I would get shocked. I'd probably fall over when I
Because they're
realized.
essentially steps now. Because they're not moving.
What?
Escalator is steps now, they're not working.
Oh my god, my whole world vision's just been blown. Escalators are steps?
Yeah.
What now? They're better sized steps, actually. I've recently been to Thailand, and a common theme that I found while over there is that they can't seem to get the size of their steps right. They're either too small and too long, or like just too steep altogether.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's no in between. And I've always felt escalators are actually the perfect size step, because even the ones you get at like the train station or whatever, that step's a bit small for me. Most people are double timing. So why wouldn't you just make it a little bit bigger? I'm talking 10 centimeters bigger, you know? Let's start the revolution.
At the Melbourne International Film Festival, a lot of the films were at the Comedy Theatre, which is like this beautiful old theatre that everyone's like, oh, this is so beautiful. But then you get there and, oh, this is lovely, having, watching films in a theatre. But then you realise that the seats are like 100 years old and the stuffing's all gone and you're sitting there and it's packed because it's a film festival, so it's not like you can spread out. And the steps are like too high.
Too
and
high?
I'm a tall person, so it's like, dunk, dunk, it just feels wrong.
Yeah, just wrong.
Yeah. It feels scary. And coming down, you come down a steep
Well,
bank.
it's coming down, isn't it? It's the coming down.
Yeah,
that's
I can imagine an old
intimidating.
lady just going for a tumble down.
I'm
there.
surprised they don't. They seem to love old places like that. They seem to really thrive in that environment. They're lumpy chairs and stuff.
How did we get on this tangent? I don't know.
We were actually talking about gifts. That's where this all came
gifts.
from. Yeah, gifts and Christmas.
Oh, how your family does Christmas. Okay. Mm-hmm. So you grew up around this area, Lidl.
Yeah.
We're in Lidl right now at Lidl
Yeah.
Cinemas.
Yeah, we're at the cinema.
So this is your hood.
I guess you could say it's my hood, but like, I'm not really that cool, and I don't really have that many friends that live in this area. Most of my friends,
Oh, right.
for whatever reason, are in Bayswater.
Oh, what school did you go to?
I went to Mount Lawley, but all of them were just from the other side, and I'm not sure if anybody else is actually familiar with the transport system.
Oh, yeah.
But it doesn't bridge between
No.
the Mount Lawley and Mount Hawthorn area. So, I mean,
People
hood,
want
I
that
feel
to
you gotta
change that,
have
but I kind of
a-
don't. I kind of want Perth to not become decentralized.
Don't want it to be too convenient.
I want people to have to go through Perth to go anywhere else.
Is that because you're a hater?
No, because I've been to cities where they're super decentralized and people just don't go in the CBD, and you go into the CBD and it's just
Yeah.
dead. And
Yeah.
Perth's CBD can be dead is bad enough, let alone if you
Let alone if it was actually practical.
decentralized, like where
Yeah.
you could just go from Morley to Scarborough Beach
Yeah.
Hotel.
Yeah. What would ever be the need to go into the
Yeah.
CBD, you know, and use that? How many millions was it, the busport?
I don't know.
Do we like the new busport? Have you been?
I did it on the way to the airport. I went to the busport, and
I got yelled at by a guy because I ran. I don't know what I was thinking. I just thought, I'll be sneaky. So there was a door that was open where there was a bus leaving, and I just like shoo through it, and he was like, "Come back here!" And
Oh my God.
I didn't understand that he was yelling at me, so I just kind of like went on the road where the buses are. Because I don't know. It was like a long shortcut I was trying to take to get to my bus.
God, these plebs in Perth.
Yeah, and then get back here, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so
I haven't
sorry,
caught a
man."
bus yet. I've only been dropped off there. I imagine it's a
What
whole.
did you do there? Just stand around, look, and then you didn't catch a
No,
bus
well,
to
you
the
get
airport?
off, and I transferred to my bus that was on the other side of Perth.
Okay. Yeah, cool. I didn't even know there was a bus that went to the airport, but that makes sense, doesn't it?
It goes from the It goes from the other bus port on the other side of Perth, the Esplanade.
Okay, cool.
But
You know
now-
what? As
now
long
it's
as it's in the CBD, we don't
now
mind.
it's called
do we,
Elizabeth
James?
Quay.
Elizabeth Quay? Or Key? I like Quay better. Just like I like Cafe better.
Quay.
Quay. Let's go to a Cafe at the Quay.
What's the generic term? It's like Lizzie's.
What? Lizzie's Key?
Is it?
No,
People just
I
call
don't know.
that?
I haven't been calling
I
it
thought
that.
it was a dirty word that they were calling it.
Lizzie. Ooh, what would you call it? Like, how can you dirty up Elizabeth
Lizzie's
Key?
wet place.
Oh, come on.
Sorry, that was terrible.
Welcome to Perth.
Yeah, back to you. And so you're a musician. That's why
I
you're
am
here.
a musician. That is why I'm here on this planet, on this earth.
How did you get into that?
Well,
Because I was stalking you
yeah.
online.
Yeah, there's some
You're quite
really-
easy to stalk online. Because
Which
you
is,
have a,
something I've made an effort to be easily stalkable. Stalk me. Go on. I dare you.
And you have like some of you play music on your YouTube channel.
Yeah. that
And you
was
have
kinda
like
where
a
it's-
lot of views on some of your videos.
On some of the videos, it's really weird.
Yeah.
And they're like not good. They're really, they're not good.
so
They're
then
from when I
go
was really
viral.
young.
Why?
For whatever reason, also YouTube changed the algorithm that it uses to get views and to give recommended videos. So I don't remember which year that they did it, but at one point they did this switch, and it just kind of meant that the recommended for you was more based off big channels with big views. So it did make it harder for smaller channels to grow. And like I didn't post regular content or really put as much effort as I should have at the time. So yeah, it just there was this weird thing of like when I started out, I managed to get tens of thousands of views on some of my videos, and then
So you just started
nowadays
putting
it's like
stuff up
roughly
there, or
1,000.
did you go out and
Well, I
play
always
the
wrote,
YouTube
hey,
game by doing
play the YouTube game.
By doing reactions. And
Yeah. I
response
got into
videos
no,
and-
hell no. Actually, just today before I came here, I did maybe like 4 talking videos
Mm-hmm.
where I really embarrassed myself because like I couldn't talk to the camera normally as like a
Yeah.
16-year-old girl. It just freaked me out at that time. So I went and made all of those.
I used to do
private
it. You
today.
delete them because sometimes.
Oh, they're
when I was-
there because I think they're funny, but they're not for anyone else's.
Yeah,
eyes.
because sometimes I would Google your name and it'd say, "Oh, check out this video by this girl," and then
Yeah.
the thing would say, "Oh, this is now a private video."
Yes, yeah, and I'm so glad that it is.
Yeah.
I'm so
Okay.
glad.
So you did do vlogs.
For a time, I was like, maybe I'll be a YouTuber. This is the direction
Yeah.
I'll take. And then I realized, vlogging is not what I'm good at. I should just sing and then do gigs and stuff instead. I think people like it better when I do that.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I just always wrote, hey, I
Did you get any weird stuff?
What do you mean weird
People
stuff?
sending you weird messages. And,
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of creepy people on the internet. Hey, like a lot of creepy people, especially because I started
A
that
young
channel when I
girl,
was 14.
yeah.
So, like, yeah, dude, there's this one guy who's got this like sloth for a picture, and he would just comment on all of my videos being like, yeah, I'm going to like fuck you and use your tears for lube. That was one of the. And I was like,
Wow.
that's probably the only comment that I have memorized, but I
Yeah.
thought it was
that's pretty memorable.
it was funny, but it was wrong. I was just, I don't know. And it's
Do you
just,
delete them or do you keep them?
of course I'm not going to delete them. It's publicity.
Yeah.
No, it's like, what's the point, you know? I would feel like
It's like your battle scars.
like my battle scars. Oh my
You're
God.
proud of them.
I am proud of them. Are you talking about the ones on my shoulder? Is this from a video?
No, I'm just talking about.
Oh, just
in
battle
general.
scars in general. Okay, shit. I thought that
You
I
have battle
mentioned
scars. You have real scars.
battle scars. I was in a car accident one time, and I think that I mentioned it in one of the crappy
Actually, I think I remember
vlogs.
that in my
Yeah,
story.
yeah, and I just got these like scars on my shoulder that look like warts.
What kind of just a regular character?
No, it was pretty bad actually. We were driving down to Denmark. I was with a family friend and her parents, and we got like, I don't know, we were carrying a trailer and then it just started fishtailing and Mum just kind of lost control of the car, and then there was these 2 sheep trucks coming. One of them clipped us and we like rolled across the road, wrapped around a tree, all that stuff. The miracle was the car was totaled. Everyone was fine though, except that I had some glass in my shoulder and my friend had this bit of concrete in her eye, which I found really funny at the time. It was a super inappropriate reaction, but I just started laughing and I was like,
Probably in shock.
what are the chances?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? But it's like if no one else's reaction with shock is to laugh, you look like a psychopath.
So it was your friend, not family members.
Well, yeah, she's like a family friend. So
Okay.
yeah, her and then her parents, her parentals.
We're in
Yeah.
the car as well.
They were in the car as well. They were in the
Oh,
front
yeah.
seat. Yeah. It was a good experience. I don't know. Because it made
Yeah.
me, I'm
Was
not
it
a
life
speeder.
changing? Did the light flash before your eyes and go?
I thought I was going
I'm
to
gonna become a
die.
YouTube celebrity.
Foiled. No, I mean, I thought I was going to die because we were like, you know, you're
Yeah,
rolling across
that's
a
it.
road and you can see a truck coming to hit you.
Yeah.
So I thought I would, and then I didn't, and I just thought it was pretty funny that I didn't. And I was like, wow, what's the chances, you know?
When was that? When you were 14? As well?
No, I was 17 at that.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is post YouTube.
This is during
Post
my...
being a musician.
Yeah, well, not post because I'm still a musician, but during my musical career, I've been
Oh,
playing
post starting to
music
become
since I was
music. Yeah.
6. So I've always done music.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just always written. Just don't see, like, I've had friends definitely ask me before how did you like start writing? How did you come to that? And it wasn't really a matter of starting. I remember when I had my first piano lesson. The next week I'd written my teacher a song,
Yeah.
and it was just like, of course, that's what you do. You know, you've got an instrument, now you write a song with it. And now I can view all these poems that I write that I've got little lyrics and stuff. Great, I can play piano to them now too. It's just very natural progression.
So you were a piano player.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
your
for a
thing.
long time.
And then you picked up the guitar.
I did cello for a long time at
All right,
school.
yeah.
For about 5 years I did cello at school, but I really resisted that and hated it, which is
Yeah.
a shame because it's a beautiful instrument, but I was young. And then I picked up guitar and singing. So
Yeah.
that's where I'm trained. I used to be good at theory, but I just sort of dropped it all as soon as I didn't need it because I didn't like it. So I do everything by ear now, but got to pick that back up. It's so impractical not knowing theory.
I felt like when you started your YouTube channel, you were just starting to learn the guitar.
Yeah, that was
I
when
felt
I
like-
just started guitar.
I felt
yeah.
like one episode is like, this is the first time I've ever used a guitar.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
yeah.
you would normally write with a piano or
Well, when I started I'd always written songs and I wrote songs with the piano. But when I first started learning guitar, it was a real breakthrough of especially with pop music, because my guitar teacher has had excellent music taste and he exposed me to a lot of different bands and stuff. And just learning the structure of those songs just was a real, it opened up my mind to, this is how you write music. And so that was when I actually started showing people, this is what I'm writing. And that was why I started a YouTube channel, just so that I could show my friends online. I just wanted to be like, you guys can watch the video now, because I used to trap them in the music room at lunchtime and be like, guys, I wrote a new song, check it out.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. So yeah.
And you are recording, I think on your Instagram you you're recording like
You have done your
properly recording.
research. Yeah.
I actually wrote out notes,
Did you really?
but it was before I went to Melbourne, and now I couldn't find it when I was coming here, because I've got about 2,000 notes from my time at Melbourne on top of it.
I understand, right? Stuff happens. I'm not sure if the listeners can hear, but we've actually just had some music start up.
Yeah.
I like
Good
it. It's creating some
background
ambience. Yeah, a lot of my good ones aren't on YouTube because I'll play them at gigs and stuff, but I don't want to put them on YouTube until they're done, because I don't want them to be on the internet until they are the way that I want. But you are correct. I'm recording an album. Very exciting.
Is this your first time you've recorded stuff?
Nah, when I first wrote...
Other than on YouTube?
When I first wrote, when I first started writing, I've always had people be very receptive and positive about my music, which I'm very grateful for. And when I first posted Summer, that was the first video I ever did. My brother-in-law actually he's really good friends with the guy that I'm funnily enough recording with now, and he paid for me to go to the studio and record that song. So that was
Your brother-in-law or your friend?
Brother-in-law.
Yeah, okay.
And then and then from there I went to LA for a bit when I was 15 and did some more recordings there at like Capitol and stuff. That was cool.
Brother-in-law being a stepbrother?
Brother-in-law being the husband of my stepsister.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Right.
Very grateful for that experience, because I'm working with the same guy again now. His name's Peter Oates, and he's just we get along really well, and he's really just talented, man. He just hears what needs to be put into the song, which I don't have the ability to do necessarily. Yeah. Because I can write it, but like I'm not necessarily going to be like, that's the drum line that needed to be there. You know, that's not my skill set.
And so this isn't like an album or an EP? What's the current terms people use?
Well, I think it's EP, but I'm not really that cool, so I'm not sure what the correct term would be. Like, I think that it's EP because it's 8 tracks is what I'm aiming for.
Yeah. Okay.
It might even be less than that. The budget does exist.
Yeah.
I would love to do an album, but I'm kind of calling it an album just for the sake of it's a recorded body of work.
I think I have owned albums that have 8
tracks.
songs.
Yeah, because it depends what people do. Hey, it depends how stingy they are, I suppose.
And what kind of music? Is it similar to what you put on YouTube or new stuff?
Yeah, it's very influenced by what I'm into at the moment. The instrumentation just adds a very different level to what I can show on YouTube with just me and my guitar. So, I mean, I'm adding in a lot of my tracks are quite jazz influenced.
Yeah.
I would not call myself a jazz musician at all. There's so many nuances of that genre, but I'm very inspired by jazz musicians, and I love the chords and things like that. So a lot of the instrumentation includes things like double basses. I'm going to get a jazz flute in, some saxophone, things like that. And then on the other hand, there's also a lot of sort of slow 60s rock vibes going on. So it's very different to YouTube, but it's the same. It's the basic style of my music, but just now I can say, this is what I was picturing the whole time. This is what I actually wanted to be able to create. So
awesome.
Yeah, I'm getting a band together at the moment so that I can do that live and then maybe like film some concerts and things like that so that I can put that online as well, just to better say this is what I do, because a lot of the time it's a problem for me when I'm applying for things and they're like, all right, well, send me something, you know, an example, and I'll be like, well, YouTube doesn't really sum it up, but okay, you know.
So when you're saying not cool, it's like, what does it take to be cool? Do you have to be in the Perth music scene, like going to the Heidi on the right nights? I think that's closed now, isn't it? The Rosemount and
Rosie,
the Rosie,
Mojos, of course, Babs,
and be part of the scene.
Well, I only say I'm cool. I'm cool, but I just mean I'm not really. Because so much of what I do is self-taught. Yeah, I am a music nerd because I love music and I'm obsessed with it. But when I talk to other people on the scene, on the circuit, they just know a lot more, particularly about their instruments and about the technology and things like that. So I don't necessarily feel like I'm qualified to talk about a lot of things because, man, I was using the wrong plugin for my amp for the first 3 months that I had it before a guy was like, oh, you don't plug it into the preamp hole. It actually goes into one of the input holes. And I was like, oh, that's really embarrassing. And I was doing gigs like that too, and no one told me. One of my friends actually said, he's like, oh, there's something a bit weird about your amp. I was like, well, I don't know, man. It was $1,500, so there better not be nothing weird about it. But until some guy sort of helps me with it, But I mean...
So how do you perform live?
How?
Do you acoustic
get
guitar?
up on stage and sing.
Just you, a guitar, singing?
Yeah. And a lot of spirit.
All right, you're not out with synthesizers and a backing track and...
No way. I'm actually kind of anti-synth. I'm kind of anti-electronic.
So it's just you, guitar, and your voice?
Yes. Yeah. Although, like I said, I'll get the band together and then get a nice keys player on, get probably another guitarist, a bass player.
The Grace Sanders
drummer.
experience.
Yeah, what should I call it? Hey, I've been thinking about that. I'm really bad with names, so I don't know what to call the EP/album, and I don't know what to call the band. I'll let them decide what to call themselves, actually.
Grace and Band, Gab.
Grace and Band, Gab. Oh.
Gab.
I
Let's
was
go see some
thinking
Gab, mate.
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. The Grace Sanders experience. It's gross, isn't it? Nothing rolls off the tongue. I'll let them decide. They can decide that for themselves. Call it whatever they want. It'll be Grace Sanders and the Funky Four.
Grace Sanders and the
do you
Symphony of
It's
Seven.
hard. What? The
How many people in your
Symphony
band?
Well, like if I could, a lot of the venues I play are small. If anyone's familiar with Babushka or 459 or anything, they're small stages. So, I mean, I'm auditioning. This week is a big week for me. I'm auditioning a bass player, but also a saxophonist, another guitarist, a drummer, a keys player.
Do you have to pay these people? This is just...
Well, I'll pay them
They just want to be
because-
part of the Grace Sanders experience.
Well, it's always hard to know, isn't it? Like, of course they want to be paid, but the reality is that a lot of gigs you don't really get paid very much for, you know?
Well, you give them a split or something.
You're
right?
given a split, exactly. So, for example, the last gig I did, I got $25 for it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get like $1 or something of each door sale. It's something like that. And then splitting that up with a band is sort of, you know? But the point is that once you have a band, I fully intend to book bigger venues, weddings, you know, try and get into the festival circuit, like things that you're actually going to get paid a couple of hundred for.
And so you do occasional cover on your YouTube channel.
Yeah,
So what
yeah.
you do covers at a wedding, like
Oh, absolutely.
set up a set, rock it
Yeah.
out. What kind of stuff do you like? I think that was another reason why I messaged you. It was because I liked your sort of mix of taste.
Oh, thank you.
Would you want? I mean, obviously, if you're for a wedding, you probably have to do whatever they want. But
Yeah, they'll give you a list.
if you're putting
I
on a
suppose.
cover set, what's your top 5?
For a wedding?
No, for you.
For me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right, cool. Well, I love slow songs. I love to sing slow songs. So probably Ain't No Sunshine would be in there because I love that song. I put my favourite covers on. Beautiful, right? Soulful. I
play that
actually
on
just
saxophone.
before I came here did Killing Me Softly, which is uploading as we speak.
All right.
But would I put Killing Me
On
Softly on there?
Perth's slow
Maybe.
internet.
Pardon me?
On Perth's slow internet.
Slow internet. Although, to be honest, like the amount of things that people complain about, like really, we're in a first world country. We
Yeah.
all live in houses that are nice and clean, and we have clean, fresh water out the tap. Like, how bad is it really? We got slow internet. What, you got to think in your own brain for a little bit longer?
Yeah,
It's
but
all
I
right.
read the other day we got overtaken by Nigeria in
By
internet
Nigeria.
speeds. I'm like,
Yeah, but I mean, what else have we overtaken Nigeria in? Like, let's get perspective.
I just I reckon in 10 years, like who wants to give an Australian a job because it's like
The internet is so slow here.
Yeah.
Is it that slow? Maybe I haven't experienced fast internet. I don't know enough. I don't know what I'm missing out on, so I'm okay with it. You know, like
Yes,
just like
true.
used to be okay with doing the dial-up thing. That
Yeah.
was okay. It was acceptable at the time. But
you should be able to.
ignorance
You
is
shouldn't
bliss.
ever have to say it's uploading as we speak. It should just you press the button
Yeah.
and it's there.
It took
Boom.
an hour and a half. Yeah.
I remember the last video I put online. I looked at the time and I had to get in by a certain time interval, like before 5 p.m. for the submission thing.
Yeah.
And I looked at it at home, and it was going to take like 3 hours to upload.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
it's a
screw
lot.
this. So I just actually connected my phone to my computer and it just uploaded in 5 seconds. And
Why is that?
Well, because the phone, it's just insane that our phones are faster than
They are.
It should be
yeah.
the other way around.
Yeah, no, exactly
Because
right.
your home has a dedicated line straight to the thing, rather than a phone has to send it to a cell's tower, which then has to send it to the thing, and you're competing with all the other people in your area using the
That are
same cell
using
tower
it.
as well.
Yeah, exactly. What is it about the technology with
Because we're
phones,
using
though?
100-year-old copper.
Oh, okay.
rather
So
than-
that's the whole broadband thing. Yeah. All those issues that I'm not necessarily well versed on. For someone that does a political science degree, I don't really care that much.
So you're studying.
Yeah.
Are you what?
Oh,
uni?
well, I'm studying. Yeah, UWA.
Yeah.
So good old UW. I really only went, and I'm the amount of people that are probably gonna be like, me too. I really only went there because I like the campus, and
That's
it's
true.
closed. Like, if you can go, you might as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started off at Curtin doing an economics degree
Get to
until
do
I
all
realized how much
the
I hate
famous
maths.
per things like Prosh and stuff.
Yeah, which I've never done.
Like that.
I didn't do any of that stuff. I didn't
O-Day.
care. Yeah, I know. I didn't
Go
do
to a
any of
toga
it.
party.
Nothing. Zero. I missed out on it because the first year, the first 6 months, I went to Curtin, and I went to Curtin, inverted commas. You know, I didn't want to do it. I dropped out within a month just because I was like, what am I doing economics for,
Yeah.
really? I enjoyed it in school, but this isn't me. And then I took the next 6 months off, and then I went to UWA. And by that point, all my friends that had started off doing like the toga parties and prosh, etc., they'd all done it, and they were like, oh, it turns out it's kind of lame, so nah. And I was like, I don't really mind missing out, to be honest with you. I can go clubbing or something instead. Which at the time was cool.
Yeah. What-
Hindsight.
Going back to making music, when you're writing a song, what comes first? You sitting there and you're tapping a beat. Oh, this is interesting. Or do you have? I'm like, oh, you know what's been pissing me off? Traffic. I'm gonna write a song about how traffic sucks.
Yeah.
Where's the genesis? Where's the?
It's different with every
I broke
song.
up with a boyfriend and I got to sing a sad song.
Yeah, probably more along those lines,
Yeah.
hey?
Other than traffic.
Less so than the traffic issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's different. It's different with different songs, but it's usually something's really bugging me, or just something's on my mind, or just it's a conceptual thing because I like to write. So I'll be writing about something, and then I'll think, you know what, that'd be a cool song. I can do that for a song. But then other times I'll just be playing on my guitar, I'll just be fiddling around, and then I'll be like, oh, that's a catchy rhythm. And
Yeah.
then from that guitar bit, I'll be inspired to write a song, but
Yeah.
it varies. But yeah, usually it's a lyric thing because I'm really big on
Do you have
writing
like a
lyrics.
catchy rhythm that you're saving, waiting for something special to
Waiting for
put it
something
to?
special. Not really. Hey, I mean, if I've got something in my head, I usually write a song with it straight away. And this year I've written, I think, 16 or 17 new songs.
Yeah.
So, well, for me, that's a lot over the 7-month period, 8-month period now. But that's been a good year for me because I guess I've just been exposed to some new music, and then that will inspire me to use those different things that I've heard in my own music and be like, yeah, cool, I can apply that. But if I hear something that I like, I'll use it straight away. I very rarely save it for a rainy day, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at the moment there's always a couple of ideas that I have on the shelf, but I'm just too busy to actually elaborate on them, unfortunately. But there's about 4 songs in my pending pile that next time I have a day off, I'll just slam out on the guitar and finish those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slam it out.
Slam it out, baby. My family hate me. It's so loud.
All right. You can't just
They don't hate me.
plug in.
They like it. But
All right. You can't
past a
get,
certain time of night, my younger siblings are like, you need to turn off your amp
can't
now.
get a little keyboard and plug headphones in.
Oh, I definitely could, but I guess I'm a bit of a hater, so I'm leaving it out. I don't
Okay.
play with my keyboard anymore though because it's broken. In case any of my avid viewers were wondering where the keyboard went, my mum broke it, even though
Right.
she denies that she
I have
broke
one
it.
you can borrow.
You have a keyboard I can borrow?
You have to plug it into a computer.
Are we that
though.
close? Oh, those ones are good though.
Yeah.
Those
it
ones
just
are
plugs
really
into
good.
GarageBand or something.
Yeah, because look, I'm getting some recording equipment this year to take those YouTube vids to the next stepperino. Yeah, I know, right? Fighting crime. Yeah, no, so that would be quite handy, actually. That would be quite handy. I've missed playing the piano. Would be inspiring to whip it out again. It's just under my bed, like gathering dust. I don't want to part with it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's got this thing where if I play certain keys, some of them are really loud and then others just don't really play at all.
Yeah.
So there's nothing out externally wrong with it, but my mum did something to it. I don't know what she did. I don't know what she did.
Yeah.
But
Does she play as well?
does she play? Well, no, see what happened was I went to Levers, and then when I came back, yes, I went to Levers, and when I came back, my mum was being lovely, and she actually was painting my room for me. My room was a hideous shade of purple I chose when I was 10, and I just had said on an offhand comment that I'd wanted it painted white.
Yeah.
And then I came back, and lo and behold, Mum was painting it white. It took her about 2 months. So all of my stuff was just wrapped up in the center of my room, and I was just sleeping on a mattress on the floor in my brother's room for that period of time. And then when I set my keyboard back up, what happened, Mum? What happened, Mother Dearest? What'd you do? You know? I reckon she banged it or dropped it or something. But she denies it. She absolutely denies it.
She had a wild party in your room.
It's not for me to judge her, you
Spilled
know what I
some
mean? A wild party. Yeah, that was the real reason that she had to paint the room completely new.
My friend, while he was at Levers, his mum came in. Oh, I'll just tidy up his room while he's away. That's a nice thing to do. And found his grow.
His
grow.
His grow, like his...
Like he turned his cupboard into like a marijuana growing facility with
what a
like
legend.
hydroponics and stuff like
That takes effort. She'd never realised before.
It was quite well hidden.
Like behind in the cupboard?
No, it was like he turned the cupboard inside out.
To do it?
Do you know what I mean? Like it looks like a cupboard, normal cupboard, like a clothes cupboard, but he took out all the clothes and put a grow inside.
Oh yeah, but that's not hard. But like, wouldn't she have at any point opened the cupboard? What's inside this cupboard? Why is it so warm in here?
Yeah, normally didn't expect her to ever come in and go through his cupboard.
Yeah, of course not. I suppose not. Unless she was being nice, right?
Yeah.
She must have been real disappointed.
Yeah.
Or super pleased. Depends what kind of mum she was. Yeah, that's pretty funny actually.
Those are the days.
My mum recently redid my chest of drawers. Again, lovely. She just kind of, I'll go away and then she'll do a bunch of stuff and it's a real surprise.
Yeah.
And I'll come back. Thanks, Mum. Yeah, I had a bong behind it though, like my old chest of drawers, and she definitely found it. And
But she didn't say anything.
She's never going to bring it up, but I brought it up, of course, as soon as I got home. Like, I'm honest with my mum, who cares? It's weed. Like, get over it. People smoke weed sometimes.
As long as it's not crack or something.
As long as it wasn't a crack pipe, she has nothing to complain about as far as I'm concerned. No, but it was just a thing of, this was when I got back from Thailand, actually. Where's the bong mum? And she's like, I'm going to keep it safe. So
Speaking
I guess
of traveling,
she's getting blazed.
I'm pretty sure the reason I came across you at all was because a friend, like an active friend of mine, a couple actually had been photographed by a local photographer, and I was just going down the rabbit hole following things, and she had this whole series set in Karanjini National Park, which was, you were tagged in, and I followed to look at your photos from Karanjini, which led me now eventually obviously to your police. They obviously do it cracking down because they're just pulling people over here.
Yeah.
It led me down the rabbit hole. Eventually led to your YouTube channel and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was
a cool
a few months
link,
ago.
Actually, yeah.
What?
Louise. She's very
Oh,
talented.
yeah. Louise Coghill?
Coghill. Louise
I don't know how to
Cog's
pronounce it,
photography.
And on your pictures of the thing, you said it was a life-changing experience going to Karanjini.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So what was that all about?
I guess at the time I just turned 19. I think a lot of people can relate to this. When you leave school at first, because I'm still very young, so a lot of my experiences, I don't flatter myself into thinking that I've had a lot of life experiences. I absolutely haven't. And the longer that I'm away from school, the more I realize, man, that wasn't an important time at all, really, was it? Anyway, I think a lot of people can relate to the year when you leave school. It's a bit of a shock because all of a sudden, oh my gosh, I've got all this time on my hands. I can do the things that I want to do. What am I going to do with that time? And that's a little bit, for me, it was definitely a little bit, I got lost for a while. And, I think everyone, you just try out like what's going to be me, So for a while I went clubbing and partying a lot. Like, okay, I guess I'm 18. Like, oh, is this what 18-year-olds do? Maybe this is me. These are my friends, And, obviously tried the economics degree, didn't feel like, changed a bunch of jobs. It was a very self-discovering time. And then when I went to Karanjini, I just felt very grounded after that. I realized a lot of the things that I wanted. And a big part of that was spending time with people like Louise, who is 5-6 years older than me. And she's a very grounded, passionate person. And I went with another girl called Lauren, who's her best friend. And we all were very tight.
Why did you go?
Pardon me?
Is it just to help out with the photos?
To be in the photos, and because Louise and I have grown up being family friends. Our parents have known each other for a million years now. So we just always been friends. I never met Lauren until the day that we left, but we all really hit it off. And I mean, I saw them the other night.
So was
She
it
just got
like
back from
she
a
was
trip.
like, "Oh, I want to go there to take some photos. Do you want to come?" Or
Exactly. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. She's the kind of person. She has a lot of travel photography, so she's the kind of person. She's very free in the sense that just leaving everything and going with $3,000 to a country and seeing what happens doesn't scare her. She'll just do it. So
Yeah.
the trip was very much I really want to do this. I've always wanted to go. Let's go. Like, why wouldn't we do that? Whereas I think a lot of other people would be like, oh, there's a lot of planning to do. So I felt lucky to go with her because she kind of shows you how it's done when it comes to travel. But yeah, no, that was an awesome experience. I would recommend to anybody in WA, got to go to Karanjini. It's just beautiful.
had you been before?
No, not before that. But it's stunning.
Have you gone north before?
Yeah, on like family holidays, just like Coral Bay and things
Coral
like
Bay,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, pretty basic though. I haven't seen as much of WA as I'd like, but again, that trip made me realize how lucky we are in Australia. It's so many holiday destinations, especially in WA, like very worth exploring this country, as well as, going overseas. But there's some awesome stuff to see around here. Really beautiful. And like the Karanjini, if I remember correctly, it's something like 200 million years old, the rock formations there, which is just, amazing to think about. But people die there all the time, so beware.
Don't get drowned.
Don't get drowned. Don't try and stand on a 200 million year old ledge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't
Don't touch the snakes that have weird
touch the
colours.
snakes. Yeah. Don't touch any snakes. Let them be, Let our slithery brothers be. Why would you touch a snake? Why would anybody do that except by accident?
I imagine tourists will be like, "Oh, that looks pretty."
Really? I find
I
them
don't know.
intimidating.
Yeah.
Snakes don't care.
Well, I've always been, growing up from the sayings, "Oh, be careful on the sand dunes. There's dugites." And
Dugites, yeah. They are a thing. They're dangerous.
so, do you think of yourself? You're a city kid?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel a very strong connection with nature.
Yeah.
And my dad has made sure that as children we've spent a lot of time...
Because he's South African.
Well, he's not South African. His parents are English and Scottish.
Oh, okay.
But when he was born and until he was 7, if I've got my story correct, they were in South Africa because my granddad built a bunch of train stations and train lines over there. So he was quite a reputed engineer. So they spent time there, and then my dad's Australian though, for all intensive purposes. Yeah. But he's made sure that we've spent a lot of time going on trips, especially road trips, and just like camping and being in the great outdoors. He's a kayaker, so I spent a lot of time during school getting up at 5 a.m. to go kayaking with him, and just spending a lot of time outside because it's important. It's grounding,
Yeah.
especially when you're so lucky to live in Perth with such wonderful weather all the time. Yeah.
Awesome. So what's the album release thing? Are you just going to pop it out there?
I ain't got a date. I'm not signed with a company or anything like
Yeah.
that, so I'm
Are you just going to
free.
drop it out? Drop it?
Just drop it. Yeah. Like a turd in the park.
You're going to put it on iTunes or
That's
something?
really bad. If
Spotify?
I can, actually, I haven't investigated it yet. We're
Yeah.
only like,
Drop it
we
like
got
that,
another
yeah.
6 months plus to go on this one. It's going to take a while.
Okay.
But
Gotta get the
when
jazz
it's closer
flutist.
to the date, got to get the jazz flutist on
Yeah.
board. Yeah, I actually do. I've got to get him to come
That's
into
exciting.
the
I like
session.
jazz flutists.
Oh, he's very cool. It's very cool. Think Amy Winehouse crossed with Lauryn Hill crossed with the Police.
Yeah. This is just the jazz flutist.
No, not. I don't know what the jazz flutist is like. We haven't met yet.
Oh,
I
okay.
hear he's nice.
Oh, right.
That's the album as a whole.
How do you find these people? Are you online?
Pete knows
looking
them
up?
all. He's
Oh,
a
okay.
really connected gentleman.
Yeah.
And I am just, squeezing that flannel for all it's worth.
Yeah. And so he's still paying for all this?
No. I'm paying.
Yeah,
I'm paying
okay.
for it all. Yeah.
Awesome.
I've got some support, but I've been saving for a long time to do this.
All right.
So I worked like 8 shifts a week for the past 6 months.
Yeah.
Saved up enough money to go to Thailand, buy a guitar amp, and do a studio recording album thing.
And where is it at a studio, or is it like this guy has built one himself?
So he actually lives in my brother-in-law's old house. They're traveling the world, so indefinitely. So basically they just said, Pete, do you want to live in the place? And he's converted that to a studio. So it's kind of weird. It was weird the first time I went there because it's my sister's place, and then seeing it now converted into a studio is quite cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's his home, and he's just got this whole set up at the back. Nice vibe, very warm. We both like the warmth, so it's like 35 degrees constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasting a lot of a lot of resources, actually.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Does that help your voice? You need it nice
you
and
need
warm.
it to be warm. Yeah, I mean, my room gets so cold. I could go on a whole rant.
How long does it
about
take to
how
record a
cold
song?
my
It's obviously you're doing it.
Oh my
fully
gosh,
proper.
it takes so long.
It's not like you just drop in like a live track.
Yeah, no
doing
way,
it
no
once all
way.
around.
Well, you go in. Usually by the end of a session, a full day, we'll have the prototype. So I've got 4 prototypes down at the moment. Which is we'll just have the basic drums, the basic guitar, basic vocals, and then what other instruments? So maybe like organ, basic bass or whatever, because he plays the bass, so that sort of ties in well. But then the other session musicians, like the saxophonist and the flute player, they'll need to come in at a later date when we've actually gone back, probably redone the vocals and guitar, just really zhuzhed it up. Like it's going to be very professional standard, so it's going to take a long time to get it to the place that I want it to be. But we're pretty productive as far as the actual recording process goes. But it does. I mean, you got to
Is
go
it something you
through
do each week? Like you do a session?
about fortnightly at the moment,
Okay.
because just with work and uni and gigging and stuff, like I'm just very busy
Is
at
that
the
like
moment.
you do one song each session?
One song per session. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's honestly, it's an uphill grind, because then we're going to have to go back again and pretty much do all the songs again with the session musos in. So, but I mean, it's really worth it. It's been really rewarding so far, and
Okay.
it's already taught me a lot about singing, like what
It
I
would be
sound
exciting.
like, you know. It's so exciting. I'm so excited about it. I really believe people are going to like this.
So at the moment it's just you and him?
Just us, yeah, collaborating, writing the bits together. So,
Yeah.
you know, he'll be like, what do you think of this line? No. Or, yeah.
So he's your producer, really?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
my
yeah.
producer. Producer, friend,
Yeah.
mentor,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
guidance.
And are you still going to be on the acoustic guitar in this stuff, or are you going to get? Is it going to be like?
Well, I've
completely
got
different?
an electric guitar now.
Yeah.
A lovely Epiphone Dot hollow body electric. It's beautiful, cherry red. That's sort of more the style. But like one of the tracks I've got acoustic. Maybe I'll do some acoustic on the other ones. But as a general rule of thumb, yeah, it's definitely like it sounds like a band
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
in there. Yeah, that's the vision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's quite cool.
All right.
Yeah,
Awesome.
thank you.
I look forward
for
to
chatting
hearing
me
it.
about this,
Yeah.
about these topics.
Have you ever done a podcast before?
No, this is my first podcast. Can you tell? Popping my podcast.
Well, I can't tell. You talk very loud.
I'm never going to be
We're
able
not.
to
You
talk
don't have to
quieter.
project
though.
to an audience.
I don't think I
This is just
physically
you.
can
This
talk
is you.
quietly. I don't know if it's like actually possible. Like it's either whispering
It
or
may be
talking
just
like
echoing.
this. So
Grace
how do
is-
you do this? Do you like have people currently listening?
You can. I haven't done it at the moment because I just didn't do it.
Yeah.
But you just plug your iPhone in and that sends it to the
And
radio
then it makes
station.
it like live.
Yeah.
So what do you do after then? You'll just like edit the clip and then
Yep. Edit and then post it up as a podcast,
cool.
and you can download it to your phone and listen on your
Cool.
commute to work.
I will, because I want to see what I'm like to interview, I suppose. Chatty.
See how loud you are.
Yeah, is it loud?
I don't know.
Probably. It's deep, that's for sure. Got
Yeah.
a man's voice. Sorry. Sorry, trying to wrap it up.
Where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me
Grace.
at Grace I. Sanders. Grace is Anders, if that helps. You can search Grace Sanders. I'm everywhere. I'm prolific. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah. Awesome. It was awesome to meet you.
Yeah,
Grace.
you too. You too.
Check the show notes. I'll include links to all the stuff anyway,
Cool.
even if you can't remember what she said.
And how could you forget?
We'll talk to you later. Well, I will talk to you later.
Maybe I'll talk to you.
Maybe Grace will be back. We'll do the Grace Sanders Experience podcast.
Yeah, that's what she called
Yeah.
it.
All right. All right. Bye.
Later.
Oh, it's written in stone. He's the one. Ooh, it's written in stone. He's the one. Oh, it's written in stone. He's the one.
Say, sound like a bogan. Bye. Wait, I'm gonna do that again. Bye. No, that's creepy. Later. No.